House prices are going down. Your real estate will not be worth what it is today. Why? Well, interest rates are constantly brought up in conversations I have about real estate, and I get a lot of haters because of this. And the one thing you got to look at is, have you ever actually just stopped and actually thought about it? Thought about how important interest rates are to the overall real estate market? I don't know if you've thought about this, but I have. And I can absolutely logically tell you and sincerely tell you, real estate prices are going one place and one place only, and that is down. So in this video, what I'm going to do is I'm mathematically going to prove to you why the price of real estate will go down beyond 2022. And I'm going to show you why that is. I'm going to show you exactly what's going on, and I'm going to show you what most people don't want you to know, because everybody seems to think that real estate's going to keep holding value, it's going to keep going up, it's going to be a great investment, and if you buy real estate, the price of your real estate's going to keep going up. Why? Because there's so much demand. There are so few houses for how many people want to buy them. That's all good and great. I'm not saying that's not the truth, but the fact is, the logical part about this is, mathematically, it don't matter. So let's take a step back. If you haven't been living under a rock, which hopefully none of you have seen what the Fed's doing this year. The Fed created this thing called inflation by printing an absurd amount of money during the pandemic, call it 5.1 trillion. And then they dropped interest rates down to zero and then slowly raised them up, but kept them artificially low for the next few years. Why? Well, they printed the money. Why? Because people weren't working and they needed money to survive and keep their businesses open, and they didn't need 5.1 trillion, but that's moot point for now. So they put a bunch of money into the system so that money was plentiful. Then what they did is they made that money super freaking cheap by keeping interest rates really low. Historically low interest rates are where we've been at. So what does all that mean? That all means that the price of real estate has gone up. Why? Because it was cheap to buy it. You could go out and you could buy real estate and your mortgage rates were 2 to 3%. Come on, folks, you all lived through this, you know this. But what did that also mean? That meant that money was cheap for institutions. So the hedge funds jumped out of Wall Street and moved over to Main Street, and they started buying up your neighborhoods and his neighborhoods and her neighborhoods and everybody's neighborhoods. But the hedge funds weren't just paying market price, they were paying whatever price you wanted. 20% over. Heck, there was stuff about Zillow paying 30% more than retail on houses, and they didn't even care. Folks, they're playing a different game than you. And that drove the price of real estate up, up, and up, and all of you got super excited. You took out home equity loans, you cashed out and did refinances, you took your high interest rate mortgages and got super cheap mortgages, and all was good, and oh my gosh, we're all wealthy. Honey, look at how much equity we have in the house. Honey, we're rich, we're millionaires. Look at, we got all this equity. Until you don't. You see, what goes up must come down. And what I want to show to you is something that isn't very hard to figure out. It took us literally, 10 minutes or so to come up with what you're about to see. And what you're about to see is going to be a shock, because it is going to literally destroy everything that you've thought about real estate going up or holding its value. And I am going to mathematically show you why it's physically impossible in this current environment where the Fed is raising interest rates 7 times in 2022. They're trying to curb the inflation that they created by dropping the interest rate hammer. And when I say dropping it, I don't mean dropping interest rates. I mean dropping the hammer on you, the American middle class, because what they're trying to do is make shit so expensive for you you can't afford it. Because if you can't afford things, well, then certainly you'll stop buying them, and that will slow inflation down. It will slow the economy down. We won't be in this high overheated inflationary period, and the Fed will then say, hey, we slayed the dragon. We gave it one right to the heart. And what is the dragon? Inflation. And they created the darn inflation themselves. So not only did they create the dragon in a test tube, no pun intended, wink, wink. But they created it, and then that dragon grew up to be this big, fierce beast, and it created all sorts of problems. But the creator then slayed the dragon in the form of raising interest rates, sucking all that money they printed back out by unwinding the balance sheet. And now where does that leave you? Holding the weight. That's right. You're going to be the one paying all that money back. You, me, our kids, their kids, their kids, their kids, their kids. Well, that is if it goes that far. I mean, Russia and all this stuff going on. Well, we won't go there. Let's get down to exactly why real estate can't hold the value and why demand means absolutely nothing. It's a myth. So, folks, let's get into the numbers here. As you can see on this little board, I got lots of numbers, but let's just talk about last year versus this year. 2021 versus 2022. You all know exactly what this is. 2021 versus 2022. So last year in 2021, at the end of the year, the median home price, the average home price of a house in this country was $423,600. Okay. Fast forward to today, 2022. There's so much demand. There's so many people that want to buy houses. The median home price is now $440,300. Now, some of you are saying, yeah, but house prices are going down because you've seen it. You're right. But housing, real estate is a lagging indicator. When the stock market goes down, it's usually 6 to 8 months before real estate feels the impact. So you're still seeing the inflated prices. You can see that difference, $423 to $440. But that's not where the story is. People can afford $440,000 houses if the 30-year fixed interest rate on a mortgage is 3.01. 3.01%. That's where interest rates were on a 30-year fixed just a year ago in 2021. We fast forward to right now, 2022, that same 30-year fixed interest rate, just 1 year later, 6.66. Listen, I didn't come up with that number. I know it's the mark of the beast, but hey, it is what it is. That was the number we found on a little unknown thing called Google. So 3.01 to 6.6. Let's just round. Can we just do this? There we go. 6.67. I feel a lot better now. Okay, so 6.67%. That's a big increase. That's more than double in really about a year's time. But most of you don't even understand what that means. So let me show you what that means. The monthly payment on a house last year, $423,600 at a 3.01% 30-year fixed was $2,133 a month. Okay, we all know that. Fast forward 1 year later, that same house would cost you $443,000. Okay, that 30-year fixed mortgage would now be 6.67%. Your monthly payment would be $3,185 a month. It went from $2,133 to $3,185. But let's just keep all things the same. So what I did is I just said, all right, let's go back to the 2021 median home price, and then let's look at that, $423,600, but let's do it at today's interest rate, 6.67%, which would give you a monthly payment of $3,067, okay? So we went from $3,185 to $3,067. But let's just look at the difference. $3,067, the cost of the mortgage this year for the price of the house last year, $2,133. We subtract $2,133 from the $3,067. We have $934 difference from 1 year per month. I want to be clear about that. This is the monthly difference. $934 a month more to buy the same house last year that would have cost you $2,133. So if we take $934 a month and we do that times 12 months, that means that's $11,208 a year more for someone to buy a house, which then means over 30 years, if indeed you were to pay off that mortgage, you would have paid $336,240 more for the same house. Still not convinced? Good, because nor am I. So now let's talk about the facts. The facts of how this works is it doesn't matter how many people want houses. It doesn't matter how much demand there is. It doesn't matter how much shortage there is, because it comes down to one solitary thing. The people that want houses can't afford houses. Because if we just look at the simple facts that what a house costs this year is that much more than it was last year, that means the housing stock is priced out of the demand. Then we come over here and we look at just the rules of getting a mortgage. So the simplest way to look at this is based on your annual income, you are allowed up to 28%, give or take, 28% of your income, your gross income, can be used for a mortgage, for housing, right? 28%. That's pretty standard across the board. So to buy a house this year at the median home price of $440,300, you would have to earn an income of $136,500. But last year, that income that you would have needed would have probably been closer to 75 grand, because that's how it works. So now, anyone that wants to buy just the, and I don't want to say this is a low-end house, but the median home price of $440,000, they got to be making $136,500, and that's going to be tight. You're maxed out, which means you're not going to be able to do much else. So here's the thing I want you to really, really understand. If the housing keeps going up in price, which I know many of you are saying, I want it to because I want that appreciation. If the housing keeps going up in price, people's incomes need to keep going up. And some of you are like, yeah, well, they are. Wrong. Incomes are not going to go up, okay? Because as the Fed continues to destroy the economy and destroy the stock market, whichever one comes first, it'll be the stock market first, then the economy second, people will lose their jobs. People will be laid off. Corporations, seeing it already. You're seeing it in all the FANG stocks. Facebook, Apple, Amazon, Netflix, all the big dogs are laying people off. Tesla cut their top executives down. Okay? It all starts at the top and flows down, folks. Eventually, that's going to make its way down to restaurants, where restaurants are going to have less business because less people have incomes, because less people have disposable money to spend, and the whole cycle reverts. And we enter a phase called deflation. We're in an inflationary period now, which makes it feel like everything's toasty and good. Why? Because price of everything goes up, including your stocks and your 401k. Oh, sorry, they're not going up? Oh, that's right, I'm sorry. They're down like 20%, and they will fall a lot further. And as that happens, everything will slow. People will lose jobs. People will be laid off. There will be less jobs available, which means the pool of qualified workers will become bigger and bigger. So employers will have to pay, they will get away with paying less and less, and they won't be able to afford the housing. So what does that mean? There will be another housing dip. Demand versus wealth. The price will have to come down to meet the demand. There is no other path, folks. Demand dictates price. That's it. I hope you understood that, because that should give you some ammunition to go out there and plan, to go out there and prepare, and to go out there and understand that what decisions you make today might not just determine what happens now or next year. It might determine what happens for the next 10 or 20 years of your life. So, be smart. Don't make stupid decisions. Don't let temptation and FOMO drive your decisions to make stupid, emotional-based buying decisions. Matter of fact, I got a really good video for you right here. Check this video out. Predicting the future of real estate. What's next? That one's going to be really important, so check it out. And folks, I didn't mean to bring a damper to things and make you upset now, but hey, wouldn't you like to see me before I punch you in the face? You would. Because you don't like getting hit in the back of the head, do you? No one likes getting the sucker punch. So I wanted to make sure I gave it to you right front and center. This should be your warning. Make sure you subscribe to this channel, like this video, or don't, and click the little alert button so that you're notified the next time we put another one of these videos, and I promise you, I'll make you laugh next time. See ya.